everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Reaction Therapy. I'm your resident psychotherapist, Tom Stevens, here to break down lyrics to some awesome music. And today it's guaranteed. Dax is up. Depression's the name of the song. If there is ever a song that fits our mission to spread mental health awareness to the world through music and lyrics, Depression is it. We've talked to Dax. We've had a conversation with him. We've been able to see some of his music, and he doesn't hide. He puts it out there. He's as honest as he can be. He talks about himself, his own life, relates to everybody else. And man, can I not wait to see what he's got for us today in Depression. If you want more reaction therapy, go to our Patreon page or go to YouTube for memberships. There is content like you wouldn't believe. Private live streams, chance to connect and chat. It is all out there. Go check it out when you get a chance. But Dax, I cannot wait any longer. It is time. Buckle your seatbelts, everybody. Without further ado, it's time for Dax Depression. The guy knows how to paint a picture. Like out in a storm immediately. Lightning, thunder, waves. And then we go 2 days earlier. What was going on?
I can't find myself.
Yeah.
I get lost inside my brain. Think I might need help, but I pushed all them away. I took the cards they dealt, and there's nothing I can change.
Nope.
So when I'm by myself, I just pray for brighter days. Sometimes I sit and I reminisce about the good.
He does both. Rap, he can sing, tells a story. He tells so many people's story in a song. You know, we listen to Dear Alcohol, which just hits completely home. I work with so many people in addiction and the lives that they don't think they can ever have again of normal. And he makes that connection, you know, being able to get help. And this is talking about the stuff that goes on inside our heads that we can't do anything about. And remember, I always say, when we get into a situation, especially with depression, anxiety, stress, that kind of our thinking becomes off and we don't see the world actually the way it is. We see it as we see it. And when it's a depressed brain that's seeing it, then very often you're not going to just be able to get yourself out of it. Like, let me just think more positively every day. That just doesn't happen because the chemicals in our body get off and out of whack a lot of times. And so we kind of perpetuate that. And so he's like, man, just push everything away, push people away. Even though I need help, the more depressed we get, the more isolated we get. Remember that. The more depressed we get, the more isolated we get. So I always say, don't curl up in a dark room, looking at social media, staying depressed. Get out, get moving, get active, stay hydrated, stay fed, stay sleeping, you know, getting good rest, balanced schedule around people. Even if you don't want to talk to them, you don't have to, but just be out and about. Because that exercise piece can really help a lot. He's laying it out. You know, man, nothing I can change. And that's the depressing part, isn't it? When I'm by myself, I just want to pray for brighter days.
Change. So when I'm by myself, I just pray for brighter days. Sometimes I sit and I reminisce about the good times. Wish I could get those back. I keep on running these races that go in my mind.
Yep.
And they go on these tracks.
It's almost like they're all watching his world, like directing camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, watching how he's living his life, giving the depiction of what's behind the scenes that many times people don't see, right? You don't see the behind the scenes of somebody's life and what they're really going through. And almost like the behind the scenes in here. This is showing it as his world, but that happens a lot. People are very depressed and they don't look it on the outside. You can't tell. If we could just get the brighter days back, it'd be fine. And I'm telling you, you can get the brighter days back. I am telling you, you get help, you get good professional help, you can. You can have somebody who can show you how to look at life honestly how to change life through patterns and behaviors and how to reconstruct what's happened in life. Because usually when we're depressed, it's because things have happened before. And if you make sense of what those patterns are of behavior or those events that happened, and you realize, oh, that's what triggered me into this. And when you recognize the triggers and you notice when it's coming on next, you can do things that actually keep you from it so that you stay away from things that actually lead you down the wrong path of depression. This is really cool.
The good times, wish I could get those back. I keep on running these races that go in my mind, and they go on these tracks. I'm not ready to erase all my memories. I fight depression and I let it get the best of me. Now there's nowhere to run, nowhere to go. Look around, there's liquor bottles all on the floor, filling up the space inside my heart and my home, drowning out.
What's interesting here, I don't know the actual story behind it, but it's like he went outside to try to go outside to try to fight it, to try to just do something about it. The lady who's got the earpiece and is working behind the scenes, is almost like the Truman Show, is coming along with a dog who goes at him and scares him back into the house where he stays depressed, where he stays drinking. That's why I said it's like the Truman Show. We got to keep him in this bubble so that we can keep him on TV, so that we can watch this life that spirals down, down, down. And that's what depression does to us. Very, very much like addiction. Addiction pushes everybody away in your world so it can survive. It is the cancer that wants to stay alive even though it's killing you. Depression works very similarly. It wants to stay alive. It's not a good thing. It shouldn't stay alive. And the one way we can beat it is by getting away from it and actually activating our lives, because depression doesn't survive in the light. It will survive in the darkness. And he is being forced back into his house where he'll drink, hang out, and get more depressed. I don't know if that's a story here, but I wonder if everything's going to push him back into his house.
All on the floor, filling up the space inside my heart and my home, drowning out these thoughts until they leave me alone. I can't find myself. I get lost inside my brain. Think I might need help.
Dude, this is so crazy. I'm sorry. I'm going back because I just want to watch this through. But here we go again. That guy is smiling behind the scenes. He's like, I got this. I'm going to get him. I'll put a detour up. I'll make him have to change paths. We'll direct his life so he stays depressed.
Filling up the space inside my heart and my home, drowning out these thoughts until they leave me alone. I can't find myself. I get lost inside my brain. Think I might need help. But I pushed all them away. I took the cards they dealt, and there's nothing I can change. So when I'm by myself, I just pray for brighter days. These thoughts are draining all my energy. I try to tell them the God, they said I'm going insane. And
do you have depression? Try therapy. Gets a flyer in the mail. Do you notice how all these people behind the scenes are getting pleasure out of his pain? I wonder what this means when he gets this flyer. It's something that keeps him online or inside.
all my energy. I try to tell them the God, they said I'm going insane. And then they recommended therapy. And I go and talk to a man who's getting paid to explain. He started saying that the chemical imbalance is the reason that my brain ain't connecting to accomplishments associated with moving on in life and past the things that my heart.
Now it's an advertisement on TV that everybody else is looking at. And man, it paints therapy in such a bad way sometimes. I know Dax wouldn't say that. Although I've told you there's plenty of therapy that's bad. There are plenty of therapists that aren't good. I've seen it. I've been to them myself. I know that it's hard to find somebody that's really good and qualified. Of course, ends up with a psychiatrist, a doctor, psychiatrists who prescribe meds, and I don't prescribe meds, but you know, it is true. Our chemicals in our body get out of balance. Just like if we have a shock or a trauma, if somebody really close to us dies in our life, our chemicals get out of whack because we're super depressed and shocked. And it takes a little bit like a lava lamp to rebalance them and get them back in focus. But that doesn't mean somebody needs to be drugged up and stay on meds. It could be a temporary thing, but the medicine's not going to fix things here. It's going to be the personal attack you make on your life and how you make new patterns and how you understand how the depression started to begin with and actually what you can do about it. You take the pill and you just figure that's the thing that's going to fix it. It's not all of a sudden going to change your habits. It's not going to change your viewpoint on life. You might feel less depressed, but it's not going to all of a sudden make life better. It's still coming at you 100 miles an hour. So I'm curious if this is like he's on a TV show and they are orchestrating the mailman to come in there to give him the mail so they can do an advertisement on TV or something. So it's interesting.
And connecting to accomplishments associated with moving on in life and past the things that my heart cannot contain, so the happiness won't sustain. And he read me my options. He said, here goes a pill, only take 2 eat a meal, and it'll numb how I feel. I can't find myself. I get lost inside my brain. Think I might need help.
Like getting him to buy into everything. This is sad in a way, right? But so well put together of how it can go. And then they're waiting. Will he take it or will he not? I'm still slightly confused whether they're actually trying to help him, but I don't think they're trying to help him. So this is the weirdness.
But I pushed off them away. I took the cards they dealt, and there's nothing I can change. So when I'm by myself, I just pray for brighter days. Should I drown all these thoughts or should I leave them to float? I've got all of my...
That's the thing, you know, the meds it's just not the fix. And look at his house with everything just kind of laying everywhere. And that sobering reality of I have to deal with myself. I have to look at life on life's terms. I have to understand that what's happened to me has happened. And what I am walking through day by day is what I have a choice over reacting to. Like I don't have a choice that things happened in my life all the time. Sometimes, but not all the time. But I have a choice of what I do about it. I have a choice of what I do next. Remember I said in therapy, I learned a long time ago, what's important is what you do after what you've done. What's important is what you do next. What's important is, can you make tomorrow a little bit better than today? And and that takes help. It takes support. It takes therapy. I believe in therapy because I see it every day. I know it works. When you get somebody that's good, I know it's somebody that can help you walk through pain, grief, trauma, anxiety, stress, depression, so that you can see life differently. When you see life differently, you actually can make life different.
My flaws living inside of this boat. I've been anchored in pain, the weight is making me choke. It's getting harder to breathe, it's pulling right at my throat. I've been hoping for change, but don't know how to restart. They say you ain't a man when you exposing your heart. Then they say you insane until it tears you apart. And then it cuts you so deep and they can tell by the scars. We can only see change when we accept who we are. Try to run from the shame and you won't never get far. Don't you bottle the pain and live.
Try to run from the shame, bottle the pain. None of it's good. You run from the shame, it's just going to find you. You bottle the pain, you just try to seal it up, trap it, move it away. It's going to come out. It just comes out stronger sometimes. So it takes facing it. I'm curious how he's finally going to break away from all these people trying to trap him and find his own freedom. Wow.
You so deep and they can tell by the scars. We can only see change when we accept who we are. Try to run from the shame and you won't never get far. Don't you bottle the pain and live your life in the dark. You're meant to break from those chains and shine as bright as a star. Don't you ever tell yourself that your depression is the reason you won't make it, or that happiness is not in your cards. Without God you can beat all the odds. Keep your faith and you'll never be lost, and say I can't find myself. I get lost inside my brain. Think
that is completely worth hearing over and over and over again, right there. Don't you ever tell yourself that your depression's the reason you won't make it or that you won't be happy. That's like a lecture point of don't let, and I always say what other people think about me is none of my business. I was taught that lesson too. What you think about me is not my business. It's not for me to be concerned with. I'm not going to let depression, just like he's saying, be the reason I'm not happy or that I don't make it. Because then I'm selling out and I'm letting it take over me and I'm not in control anymore. I'm just going to be the victim and fall apart and crash in spite of whatever's happened. Because sometimes such bad things happen that you need a lot of help to get through them. So So I'm not discounting that. It is for real. Like bad things happen to people that don't deserve it. And it takes a lot of help and support and guidance to be able to get through that. But don't ever let depression be the reason. Keep your faith and you'll never be lost. Love this. Can I go back to this?
Is the reason you won't
Okay, here we go.
get far. Don't you bottle the pain and live your life in the
Come on,
dark.
Dax.
You're meant to break from those chains and shine as bright as a star. Don't you ever tell yourself that your depression is the reason you won't make it, or that happiness is not in your cards. With all God, you can beat all the odds. Keep your faith and you'll never be lost, and say, I can't find myself.
I do believe that too. You know, having faith and having belief, like that faith for me in God that tells me, you know, I've got ultimate protection. This is not my forever eternal place. And so I'm doing the best I can with the life that I have in front of me and the people I'm with and the things I get to do. And being grateful for that and knowing that, man, bad things happen, pain happens. And I have to be able to see what I can do with it and about it. See it every day with people. And when people embrace the struggles they've gone through and realize I need to go through this, not just try to fix it. That's the drug, alcohol, meds kind of thing, and not just try to fix it, but I actually do something. I live my life differently. And he's saying, walk into the storm. It's okay. Trust that you're going to be okay, because as long as you're fighting, you're still breathing. Walk into the storm. Don't hide away. Don't get pushed back inside like all those people are doing. You can do this. But you can't do it alone all the time. And I'm telling you that therapy is important. And so that part, he kind of discounted therapy in terms of psychiatry. But that's what people think about therapy, is it's psychiatry, it's medicine. That doesn't have to be that. It can be a self-awareness, self-actualization, self-exploration, so that you can actually get power and control back of your life and understand, oh, that's why this happened. And that's why I'm in this place today. And this is what I can actually do to move through it and walk through that storm. So that's the help therapy can be.
Keep your faith and you'll never be lost, and say, I can't find myself. I get lost inside my brain. Think I might need help. But I pushed off them away. I took the cards they dealt, and there's nothing I can change. So when I'm by myself, I just pray for brighter days.
Yep. Truman Show, he did a great take on that and very well done. I was wondering all the time what that was. Trapped in a bubble, orchestrated life. It's what depression can do to you. It will orchestrate your life so you stay depressed, because it's the only way it stays alive. And what a great ending. He fought through the storm until he saw the sunshine and realized, wait a minute, this isn't even a real life. I've ripped through and realized there's something on the other side. That's my life to go live, and you can go live that. I believe help can help you do that. What a great song. Dax, Depression, just blew me away. I could sit here all day and talk about this, because I love talking about addiction. I love talking about depression. I love talking about, anything mental health related, and Dax never disappoints with that. I can't tell you enough that getting help and embracing the depression and understanding and taking it on face to face can really help you move through the misery. But sometimes, like I went to the chiropractor recently for my back, and he was stretching one of my legs to the point I thought it was going to snap off, but it wasn't. And he helped me breathe through it, and it kept stretching further and further and further. I'm like, I didn't think it would stretch that far, but it can, because he helped me mentally relax enough to let it happen. Getting help, getting therapy, Dax, being able to say, I'm not going to let this depression keep me inside, drinking, eating, staying in a dark room, curled up away from life and existence. It makes me more depressed. I'm not going to let them keep me in. I'm going to fight through them, and I'm going to go out and do it. Thanks so much, Dax. I appreciate it. And remember, this isn't real therapy. It's just Tom breaking down lyrics to music. If you want professional help, check the link in the description of this video. Go to our Discord server. Lots of people chatting about mental health, reaction therapy, and so much more. Give us your comments, feedback, insight, because Nick and I are grateful for you and thankful that you would be here watching this reaction with us. Love doing this. If you want more reaction therapy, go check our Patreon page or YouTube. I'm telling you, extra content, private live streams, it's all out there. And our mission to spread mental health awareness to the world through music and lyrics. We'll see you on the next Reaction Therapy.